My esteemed colleague, the president of this association, Scott Rutter, is unfortunately dealing with the death of a stalwart in this community, pioneer on both patient advocacy and also cannabis advocacy. Unfortunately, passed after a long illness. So I'm on a happier note. I want to lift up a young lady in the audience who is interning with the New Jersey Cannabis Business Association. Rowan, Sydney, come join me. Sydney Turner, ladies and gentlemen, an intern in this business. She's working. She's to have a public policy future working in this space, and she's produced a fantastic fact sheet that we're going to submit for the record for you. And I will not read it to you and bore this young lady for her fantastic work. Couple things just real quick. You folks should be proud. We all should be proud that we are now a model for the nation in cannabis. Think about that. New Jersey is a model for the nation, and I can to go around to these conferences in the nation for many years and being told how bad New Jersey is. Just we weren't legalized, we didn't have a good medical program, was kicking your tail, blah, 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 right? New York's going to eat your lunch. None of it is true now. We have a model that has lifted up racial and social equity. We did it better, but it's not done yet. This has come because of the innovation happening at the local level, to the point we heard here, and mayors, local officials know what's right for their community because they're listening to the residents. And these advocates have gone into their community to turn on reefer madness and change hearts and minds to make it become an economic driver. It is part of redevelopment plan. Post-COVID, when retail was decimated on Main Street, smart mayors, smart council folk, and economic development folks in towns, when a cannabis operator is placed commingled with like-minded businesses, the sky didn't fall, the revenue rose. Unlock the keys of the potential of manufacturing in their decimated industrial. These are exciting opportunities to be able to have manufacturing facilities in the cannabis space. It's everything from edibles to more complex products. And we've had bottling plants that have existed in this state that have closed and gone away. And they're going to come back now as a result of the our state. Now, here's a challenge. There's a mayor I'm aware of right now that wants to do more in her industrial areas. She cannot, because any fault of this body and not because of any fault of her own. It's because of the feds. Because the feds have not unlocked the keys to this experiment yet. The REITs that cannabis in those industrial parks, it is a lost opportunity for that community. Change is coming, though. Your federal partners have begun rescheduling. So the next tranche of development will potentially come, and hopefully that will meet the needs here that are growing in terms of manufacturing. And things to you just about general things I'm seeing in this market. You have a diversity of here that is 564 different opportunities down the line. You've got rural, you've got urban, you've got suburban, and everything in between communities. We haven't even scratched the surface of what a consumption lounge might look like in certain municipalities that now invites a more entertainment-like venue commingled around like setting, and that is a scary proposition, but done right, it would be no more scary than the bar or the nightclub in a town either, and has development opportunities. I'm happy to report to you that despite this success, we're working around the challenges. This body, your regulator, the CRC, these local officials, and this fantastic cannabis community, it is effort. Yes, there are areas where there are Barrett situations where fees are too high. Hopefully the market will dictate that they will come down somewhere else. After this election coming up in November, you will watch. There will be more municipalities that will be opting in a variety of things. Day, and around President's Day, when a lot of action happens at the local level, right? You're going to watch more ordinances be adopted because more and the reefer madness of the past and starting to look to the economic development of the future because of pioneers that they've seen at the local level. Educating towns and applicants. Our organization, the Cannabis Business Association, does a frequent and other cannabis operators on how to approach your municipality, how to sit down and talk with the town and decide and help them where they can go, what real estate opportunities are available. Similarly, though, you hear there's still confusion. We have experts here from the municipal level who are still morass of space that we don't really know all the answers right now. There's no book, there's no formula to do this. Towns are the laboratory in new ways. A rural mayor who's decided that she wants her agricultural constituencies to continue to thrive and lift up that agricultural community. I mentioned redevelopment, I mentioned manufacturing, and by the way, we have not swung back to benefits of what we're side perhaps when rescheduling happens and we see a return to medical manufacturing and medical efforts going.
Thank you, Mikey. I think that was that cutting out for you too, Sue? Was that cutting out for you too, Sue?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, all right. I like Bill Caruso a lot. I just there was no mention of home grow. That whole meeting was like on the last second. It wasn't posted nowhere. There was nobody that knew about this meeting. And all of a sudden it's a cannabis. And
why is that?
Not one mention of home grow. There's mention of all the industry
why
stuff.
Is that?
And all the millions of dollars they're going to make. And raw, not even on the stove anymore. I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, we need these people to advocate. At least a mention of home grow.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not going to hear any mention until after the election.
Do you have a TV
We're not
on?
going to hear any mention until after the election.
No. Is there a TV on?
Not here.
Radio, TV?
Not here. No,
I hear
and
something.
every time I say something, it echoes. And every time I say something, it.
Oh, hold on. That's the problem. I'm set up for something else here. Thank you. Or studio. There we go. Okay, no, but I hear a radio or something in the background. Maybe it's not me.
Let me go see.
I can hear it. I think that was it.
Yes, my dog turned on the television.
Thank you. It's better. Why are we still waiting, Chip? Descheduling is the only answer. Here, let me put these up here. Yeah, descheduling is the only answer. Why are we still waiting, Chip? Scooter. Why are people afraid of the rat? Why are people afraid of offending Scutari? What's Scutari going to do? Ignore you? What, he's going to not take your calls? He's not doing that. He hasn't done that for 3 years. He runs away from us. So what are we supposed to do? Just be like, okay, let's watch our friends suffer and die, and we'll just do nothing. It doesn't work like that with me. Maybe some of you all don't want to do nothing to offend them, but I don't care who's offended by this shit. I'm offended. How the hell are you going to get things done without shaking it up, man? I'm a little upset with some of the people who don't like Rotary. I don't like that you don't like Rotary. I don't like it. I'm offended that you're offended.
Who's offended over Rotary?
I'll tell you offline. I know a few people that that definitely, when they saw him at Expo, they were like, "Whoop, 180 other way." And I'm
Really?
like, "Really? I would
Oh,
have loved." Yeah, I'm like, "Wow, I'd love to get that in."
wow. I'm
Ooh,
sorry to hear that.
it was hurtful. Hurtful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple people, business leaders that one business leader said they wouldn't share the Scutari video, the video of home grow of all the patients that are in that
Really?
11/11 video.
Yeah.
11
Yeah.
minutes. So he wouldn't share it because it's got Scutari in it.
So what?
It offends Scutari, so we have to take Scutari. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
So
saying. I
what?
won't say who
You
it
know
is,
what?
but
You know what? No, no. Leave it as is. Leave it as is. You're exercising your rights. You're just exercising all of your
in my
rights.
feelings, I'm hurt. I'm hurt. I put a lot of time and energy and effort, and a lot of us do, like you and Mikey. A lot of us, you put a lot of effort into all this stuff. We've been at the State House for 10 years. We've watched patients move out of state, kids to move out of state. We watched our friends suffer and die coming to the State House. And now we're going to just believe, okay, now sudden, oh yeah, now they're going to believe us and they're going to do something. No, they're lying to you like they lied to us 10 years ago. They're probably telling them, oh, they're probably hearing it because we're pretty much shadow banned. We're semi canceled on some formats here. Paranoid. It's a thing. They shadow ban you. They slow play you. They do that to a lot of activists. And if you don't goose step of the party, you know. And I'd tell you, I'm way more liberal than I am conservative. But man, I tell you, the Democrats, oh, they have too much control. There's no checks and balances.
Mm-hmm.
And Democrat anyway. He's a fake Democrat. He's a dino, a Democrat in name only.
Dino. I like that.
What?
Dinos, rhinos, and sinos. You want to do a couple of other different shows with you as a guest so that you could speak? How about that?
Sure.
You want to do some other? Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Let's get you on a couple other shows.
Always.
All right.
Always.
Yeah.
With
Okay.
me.
We'll talk about that.
Do a tag team. Yeah, we do a tag team. I like having stuff to bounce off people.
Mm-hmm.
Bouncing things.
All right.
Like bouncy things, like the bouncy rat. The rat was at Hub 13 in Trenton, and we had this thing set up on the street there.
Mm-hmm.
And the cicada is set up next to the rat. And the sound just bounced off the rat so nicely. It was like the best acoustics I think I ever heard. I don't know if the band was... The whole thing together was amazing because it was like the really good band, really good sound. And I was like, whoa, the sound bouncing off the rat right to us. It's cool. It's a multi-purpose rat.
You on the meeting? I didn't know that.
Board meeting. How about, did you ever think about, and I guess that's supposed to be my job to do that, right? Reaching out to like more vocal people that are Jersey residents that have a little bit more fame, like I don't know, Bon Jovi. What about John Bon Jovi? Why don't we have him as a guest?
What?
I'll chase him down.
Okay.
He's got a lot of clout, you know. He does all these food banks, you know. He's a really cool guy. And
I'll tell him he's my second favorite musician from New Jersey.
Who's your first?
Who's
your daddy?
Second favorite.
Who?
No, not. I'm just saying between Springsteen and Bon Jovi, you got, you know.
Well, I like Bruce's music better.
Yeah, I like Bruce better than Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Sorry, John.
But John Bon Jovi's a nicer person, I think, in my opinion.
Who smokes more weed, John Bon Jovi or Bruce?
I don't know. Don't know.
Who smoked
Probably
weed
neither.
first? Who do you think smoked weed first? Because
I don't know.
under the boardwalk, so he might have smoked weed first.
Who?
Bon Jovi, and when Saraville, he lived in Saraville. Bon Jovi lived in Saraville, so
Yeah.
he was
And Bruce lived in
probably wasn't
Asbury.
much cannabis in the police state.
Huh?
Yeah, Bruce was in Asbury. He probably got some good weed.
Well, there was the
Killed.
casino.
I'm sure he got weed when he was a teenager.
Listen, there was the casino arena in Asbury Park, and that's where they did all the concerts, So there was a lot of, and I was at those shows. So there was a lot going on there. I don't know. What difference? It doesn't matter. Either one of them. We'll get somebody. We got to get somebody like that. That's gonna be like a good spokesperson. Bon Jovi
smokes.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. Introducing to Bong Julio. Bong Julio and Bon Jovi.
But Bruce Springstoned. How about Bruce Springstoned?
Yeah,
Bruce
cute.
Springsteen.
Catchy.
So we have to interview both of them and find out what age they smoked weed at first. I think Bon Jovi's favorite munchie food is probably like healthy.
Probably.
Something from his restaurant. I probably plug his restaurant. If I ask him now, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, my fritters that I bake in the morning are the best food that I love to." It's probably garbage, just whatever. He just eats anything.
No, he's Italian.
He lived at the Jersey Shore. He probably likes seafood.
He's Italian. He does not just eat anything.
That's right.
We don't do that.
We don't do that.
Be good. Gotta eat that pasta.
So how was your trip, Sue? Tell me about your trip.
My trip was awesome. It was really awesome. It was really nice. Going to a dispensary in San Diego was a bit different than going to a dispensary here. They are much more, they stay right on top of you. If you feel like you're going into a jail cell before you get into the dispensary with all the IDs you got to show, all the people you got to go through first. At least, that was what I experienced. So I was like, wow, I don't have to do this in Jersey. Yeah, they're tight. They really are. They're a lot more strict than we think they are. Hi, Jim.
Hi, I'm back.
Yay.
Hey, Jim.
Hey.
Jim, you got it right.
I don't like when dispensaries don't take your car.
I didn't hear what you said, Sue.
What's up, Jim?
What's up? What's up?
We're talking about my San Diego trip.
Oh,
it was good because next year is our 10-year anniversary for the network, so we were trying to plan a couple of things for that, and whenever that's going to be, probably I guess next September, it'll happen. And just trying to put together some more guests to do Zooms or webinars or what have you. So I think you two should just come onto the network. You'll have an audience.
We don't usually hear people making us offers.
Well, I can do that.
No, I'm just saying, it's nice to be somebody's cup of tea, after all the lukewarm Ratari reception by people going the same way as us, like we're just willy-nilly throwing us out without actual thought and without actually knowing that it was it's toned down,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just saying it was nice to hear somebody say, you guys should do this.
You guys
Really?
should. You.
Oh,
You.
I
I.
agree.
I want you both. I want you both on that show, and then we'll branch out from there. Okay.
What do you say, Lefty?
Of course, he wants to.
Well, he didn't
I
say
love it.
so.
See?
Okay. I mean, I'm looking for like winking signs like hostages, like trying to get a message across without saying so. And I'm thinking, that's because I'm too high. Yeah.
But yeah, so
I'll send you
the
a DM. Don't worry.
dispensaries are very interesting out there. Like I said, they're a little bit different than I'm used to just walking in,
Hmm.
but they're tight. They're tight.
No.
The only thing though that I thought was weird, like after all this security you have to go through to get
Mhm.
into the dispensary, then it's just like everything's out on the table. It's not like in the in cases like we're used to seeing.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
So I was like, wow, all right.
Yeah. Well, I know I heard about that in Las Vegas as well when they opened that really big dispensary there.
Mhm.
It's like, you want to smell it? Sure, here. I mean, it wasn't where you couldn't touch, see, or smell. And I find that really invigorating because the smell is part of whether or not I want it.
Mhm.
Not the hugest part, but yeah, man, that would be like a deal breaker for other stuff. If you go, whoa, I want to try some of that, and I'm usually right about the whoa.
Yeah, and there were three of us that were in there, and the three of us said, wow, anybody could, really just. I know they probably have cameras, but like, it's a good thief could be a good thief in there.
Yeah, that's true. But then I really like the fact that they're not saying stuff like, "How would we enforce it?" As to homegrown in New Jersey. Well, how would it be enforced when they're doing that
Yeah.
in a place where it could be worse than not enforcing it? It could be an actual gateway to a robbery, like inviting. Come on in. You
Yeah,
get no smash and grab necessary. Just grab.
yeah. So I was a little surprised about that.
Oh, then I'm assuming they're not having a problem with it, or it wouldn't be that way.
Right. Right. So they must
And
be.
and as far then as when we inevitably hear things in New Jersey about, or we don't hear, but what we can't do, it'd be nice to have a whole catalog of things that is being done in a state. So why don't you ask them why there's no problem there? In other words, it's good information for elsewhere. I mean, I like the idea,
Mhm.
but I don't know, maybe the people that would steal it already got too much pot themselves out there.
Oh yeah, because they could, they can grow anywhere.
Yeah. Well, plus, I mean, I know stories with Canada aren't transferable, but the whole thing about brother being in Canada, the prices and the quality were, what's up, Paco?
Hey guys.
Anyway, I was just saying about the Rick coming back from Canada. The prices in Canada and the quality were. It's hard to even imagine how good it sounds there. And the mail order anywhere you want, or you can buy almost anywhere, and in Canada legal as it is. But it was the prices. So we might be interested to know.
You know what? The
prices
prices in San Diego were no different than here.
Yeah. Well, but the price in Canada, when they're doing it in a whole different way than our country is the oil, the Rick Simpson oil type oil, is like a little over $4 a gram. So like that's like an incredible different world. But you can buy the ounces that we're getting here in dispensaries. You can buy for as low as $30 at times out there. I mean, what the hell? It's like it's a weed or something.
Well, like when I was working in Oregon in the cannabis industry out there at one farm I was working for, they had 4 rooms. Each room had over 500 plants per room. It was a self-sustaining farm that literally recycled all of its dehumidifier water so they didn't have to pay for it. So it was a self-sustaining farm at this point, but commercially, obviously, indoors. It cost them less than $150 per plant to run. And each plant was well over 3 kilograms. You understand? So they would harvest 400 pounds every month, and it would cost them $150 per plant to harvest that perpetually every single 8 to 9 weeks. The fact that New Jersey is $485 an ounce for me to medicate comfortably is ridiculous because it's New Jersey. Let's be real here. It's the corruption and the monopolization of an industry.
$485 for an ounce? Did you just say that?
Yeah, it's $60 an eighth.
Oh, yeah, that's
Plus tax.
unheard of.
That's New Jersey for you. What do you mean? That's been New Jersey since it's been legalized for medical patients. That's what I was paying when I was a medical patient in 2012. 12 years ago. It's still the same price. It hasn't dropped at all unless you get discount days and you have to go on their day when they're doing the discounts. Like, why can't there be discounts all the time that it's a plant? It shouldn't cost that much at all in any way, shape, or form.
You know what they do over there? They give you a first-time discount.
Every dispensary in the country does that. I've gotten first-time dispensaries in California, Washington, Oregon, New York, Connecticut. Like every dispensary does it as a first-time patient, no matter where you go. That shouldn't be the saving grace of New Jersey. Yeah, you get saved first time in there. Cool. But as a person who smokes half an ounce a day, where am I going paying $220 a day to keep some rich corporate schmuck in his Bentley and in his Mercedes and in his fucking rich mansion? I'm good.
Do you really smoke a half an ounce a day?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
Because it keeps me off opiates and barbiturates.
So you have to smoke. You continuously smoke. So do you understand the science behind that? You know, like you're feeding your ECS, yet you're overnourishing it. You can start to back off a little bit. What are you using to keep you off opiates? What kind of cannabis? What are you using?
Hash, rosin, and flour.
Okay. Usually with addiction, CBD works the best. Okay. Unless you're looking to get high, you know. And if that's what you're looking for, then yeah, you have to THC with some rosin.
I have to medicate. So my spine and my nervous system, if I were to take a fall, doesn't paralyze me.
What kind of injuries do you have?
I have literally what Lefty has without surgery. And then I have an irreversible autoimmune arthritis disease that less than 90,000 people in the country have. It's rare. So
what are your symptoms? Just pain?
Chronic pain, bulging disc, herniated
Paco,
disc.
you know I'm a nurse, right? I
understand that, but you don't seem to understand that I use it as my medicine.
No, I do understand. I'm asking you questions so I understand you better.
8 opiates a day. I was taking 8 opiates a day as well as 6 muscle relaxers at the same time. You tell me why a doctor would prescribe medications that would literally kill me if taken at the exact same time. Does that make any sense? As a healthcare provider, it doesn't make any sense to me why a doctor would do that, but that's what they did. And it almost killed me in Oregon. So I decided to never touch opiates ever again and smoke my hash. That's what I do.
Well, that was a big pharmaceutical, sell. They pushed it. They pushed it all over to a lot.
And they're still pushing it in Jersey.
Not just
That's
Jersey.
How they operate.
Not just
Jersey.
It's not just Jersey.
It's right, but that's why they have laws in place for these pill mills to stop these corrupt doctors from doing such and profiting off of such nature of the beast in the pharmaceutical industry.
What kind of laws do they have?
What laws?
Do you know?
What laws? I'm sorry.
Yeah, what kind of laws do they have?
What? I'm sorry. What
I don't know. You said that they have some kind of laws.
Right. They're not allowing doctors to prescribe opiates without having your multiple visits to establish a patient relationship. That's literally one of the pill mill laws that's all over the country.
Well, that only makes sense. They're not just going to give somebody, anybody that just walks in and says, "Hi, how you doing? I need something for pain."
20 years ago, they were handing it out left and right.
But those were corrupt. Those were corrupt physicians, and there was a big push by the pharmaceutical companies at the time saying that OxyContin was non-addictive, which wasn't true, which
Correct.
was never
Right.
true.
Pharmaceutical industry lying yet again, as usual.
My prescription was 90 milligrams of roxicodone every 3 hours.
Well,
90
that's what,
milligrams every 3 freaking hours, and I didn't think
I
nothing
don't-
of it. I'm like, oh, this is normal.
How you're still alive every 3 hours is beyond me, because what?
It's insane. It's insane.
Insane. You shouldn't be taking more than 30. 60 max, dude. That's doctors for you. It's like, if they don't understand.
no, don't say that. Don't say that. That's doctors for you.
That is doctors.
No,
for you, because-
don't say
yes,
that,
it
okay?
is. Yes, it is, because doctors
No,
don't want
there
to
are
listen.
corrupt people in every kind of profession. Okay, so do not go blaming a whole global,
Yeah, there's good
network.
doctors. I found I found awful doctors, and I've seen some really good doctors. I've seen the spectrum, because I've seen probably 100 friggin' doctors in the past 10 years. Jesus.
Yeah.
Some of them have very bad bedside manner. Some of my surgeons, I noticed that the nurses were a lot better than my doctors when I had my surgeries.
Mhm.
I was a mess. I couldn't move after my surgery. My stomach fell asleep for 3 days. They wouldn't let me leave the hospital till I took a crap, and I couldn't.
Yeah,
crap.
you had a paralytic ileum. Yeah. Yeah, you got to poop. You got to poop before you go. But you know why that is? Because with the opioids, what they do is they fuck up your colon. You get how the dogs get bloat and their colon twists and they die from that. The same thing happens to people that are on opioids for a long time.
Yeah, it can't
You
have
don't go to
a
the bathroom. So
you can't have a proper bowel movement. Gets you
Right.
all binded up, and that is so contrary to my health that
and that will kill
that
you.
would be the single most reason I wouldn't take it, not the risk of addiction.
That will kill you.
That
It
that
kills
scares me
depression.
more than the risk of addiction. It really
Mm-hmm.
does. I mean, maybe I don't understand addiction enough of that type, but I understand fucking cigarettes, and I'd rather, if cigarettes would keep me from being binded up like that, I would use them as a remedy.
Mhm. Yep.
I mean, I celebrate that. I'm Mr. Metamucil with regularity. Some nuts before I go to sleep.
Mhm.
I don't sit down once I get up until it's where I'm supposed to be sitting down at that moment. I'll walk around, get the bot. That's how I know if I'm gonna have a good. So anyway, the thing is, like, out of all the things, that's I don't think people really respect that for how health conscious that is.
And you're right, Jim. They don't. They
And I-
really don't. They blow it off. They don't think.
that on
They don't
certain-
think anything is going to happen to them, and that can
Well,
kill you.
Well, first of all, I'd like to see on these things where a survivor or something, where somebody's off doing this or that. It doesn't matter what they do. When they wake up in the morning, they don't have to use a bathroom. It just doesn't exist in the show. The fact that they doesn't exist in the show. What kind of reality show doesn't deal with the reality we all face every morning or evening or whenever? It's like, it's not an issue. It's not an issue. It's a real. I don't know what would happen if you just stopped eating. You went that like 2 weeks until they're all emaciated. It's got to be hell. I'm wondering what they wipe their butt with myself. But nope, that ain't real. So that kind of hide it away. You don't really need to think about it.
Yep.
And I don't get it. I mean, it's just such a part of our existence that we, shh. I mean, I don't know. See, even now, it's like, no, shouldn't be talking about that. Even I feel like, wow, I should stop talking about
Here's
this.
a PSA. I have a public service announcement. If you're in the woods, make sure you don't wipe with poison ivy or poison oak or sumac. PSA.
I'll tell you something else that shouldn't need a PSA. Back in the day, I worked at a job where I don't know who wouldn't know. As fluffy as insulation is, like when you're on a job site,
Mm-hmm.
You don't go down a crawl space to do what you have to do, and there's nowhere really right there to do it, to be fair. But you don't go down there and take insulation down with you, because this guy had to go to hospital. I mean, I wasn't there. It was like not right next to me, but you hear what's going on, and holy crap.
So what was he doing?
He was using insulation, the nice pink fluffy stuff, wall
Yeah,
insulation, fiberglass insulation.
As for what?
To wipe his ass.
For God's sakes. Okay.
I'm sorry, we were talking about that, and I went to the roof on that one.
Okay.
Lefty's like with poison ivy. I thought I could top him on that
Top
a little
one.
bit.
With the
No,
trash.
construction workers are the worst. I've seen construction workers actually put a bucket on the first floor outside a window and poop out the second floor into the bucket on the first floor. I'm like, oh.
Were they like
Clever.
bragging about accuracy rights, or was it a game or something? Well, that's just because they can be disgusting.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. You know how I used to like attract females back in the day when they were walking by a construction site?
No, how?
All the other assholes would be going, woo, woo, hey, whatever. And the one time they'd glance at me at all, I'd give them like a low five, like, hi, like that. And they'd be like, holy crap. I was the exact opposite of them,
You're the nice guy.
and usually like more over my shoulder than standing there like monkeys, I could separate myself from that crowd like that. That actually was impressive one time, but that's another story.
Okay, so what else we got going on? So you guys need to go on a show. I'll get you on a show. We have Gary for this Thursday. Jason was good. You liked him?
Oh yeah. Wait a
He's
minute. What, Jason? I get names mixed up.
Jason was last week because I wasn't on because I was away.
Well, I was away. I didn't see Jason then.
Oh, you didn't? Oh my God! Of all people, you should have seen Jason because
I had no computer, and my phone wasn't without computer. That was known going in.
You know what? We could always invite him back.
I had an iPad. I had no data on my thing. It wasn't picking up Wi-Fi there, whatever. So I ended up being 1970s technology for 9 days. I had phone. I could text. I could look through a one news feed on an iPad, but I couldn't like react, see more. I could just see the headline. Basically, I was knocked out by communications unforeseen circumstance. So yeah. Oh, I didn't know you didn't know that. Yeah, I went back till Monday.
You hear that?
That was an echo. Yeah, heard it. Anyway, I wasn't in communication able to communicate with anybody in those respects, other than phone or that till Monday morning, and even then it was straight out to Trenton. So for the whole week and all that away, I didn't actually sit down in familiar ground till after the Ratari's.
A teacher is walking up behind you. This is what it says. Lefty, hi, the teacher is walking up behind you.
I found Ratari Day to be extremely interesting, by the way. It was really getting a feel for it because there were people in town. The State House was open. They had a quorum. So it wasn't like the cold opening where, yes, we knew how to manage Ratari in the wind and, everything else. And that I had a good idea what the setup was. But I was very careful that the signs that were up, it wasn't like a whole thing around the tent. It was just, there was the stuff that fit on it. Mm-hmm. And the one that was, the top. You get the pictures. You can read them. I don't want to do them injustice by paraphrasing.
Those arms are shaking like this.
Yeah, but what happened was I had 4 that were self-standing, like sandwich board style,
Uh-huh.
and two of them were double wides with a single on the back, which would say something. But I put them right over by the walkway where people have to walk in, angled towards the road, so they could read them walking in,
Mm-hmm.
and they could certainly see them coming up the sidewalk. And most people are coming up from not our direction. You know, we watch them approach and walk away. It seems like, I don't know, I guess that they get into the parking garage that way or something. But it was interesting, the people coming out of the State House especially, and you could see them from any windows up there too as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because the two I liked, I directed towards the backstory is that Senate President Nick Scutari this week while you were away, and made an announcement to the press, you know, like I don't know if it was a press conference or just sent something out for their edification, to put that he had all the votes lined up now. He has the votes he needs to be reelected Senate President next year. And the first question on everybody's mind is, so why are you telling us a year ahead of time? It's not an issue for a year. Why a year ahead of time that you have the votes? So the press being what they were, that was sort of part of their story. Because readers, like everybody else, they know they want to, what are people going to read? They're going to say, what are their questions? And that's their job as reporters, to answer the questions they know this event will raise in their mind. That's what we read for.
Right.
And so the common, and it only makes sense, is kind of like marking your territory, sending a warning to those who would start thinking about now, maybe I should put my name in there for Senate President next year.
Why not?
Oh, no, but maybe you've read another Democrat would think, why don't I do that?
Mm-hmm.
But that's why somebody like Nick Scutari, the wisdom was that was him pretty much telling others right now before
he's saying
that even happened. Almost like they're his co-sponsors of a bill. Co-sponsor of a bill is saying, I'm going to vote for this bill if it comes to a vote. So he's using the co-sponsor mentality, thinking, look, I already got more co-sponsors, and yeah, but co-sponsors don't pass bills. You know, it'll work for what he's talking about if they hold. But what got me interested was the wisdom by people who would know was Joe Vitelli's the likely candidate. That would be specifically, it was the only name I read that somebody would throw out there. I don't mean somebody in an opinion piece, somebody I might have segregated it, but no, I didn't. Couldn't.
Well, you know, it would be a good thing to do, though. You know, now that you're mentioning that he already said that he's got all the votes for next year. Yeah. How about if we made like a bunch of flyers with Ritari and ask the question, is this who you're voting for as your Senate leader?
Yeah. Well, I would do that more towards when they're actually voting. I would be confused otherwise. In other words, I would be confused now, but here's what I'm thinking. We're on the same page. Mm-hmm. Like I was alluding to with there was the foundation needed to be set to understand that one of the signs says Senate President or Senator Scutari is threatened by medical cannabis home grow information. Senate Health Committee Chairman Vitelli embraces information. In other words, I want to push them together now, trying to pit one against the other, because one is saying, I really want to post this bill. The other one's saying, screw you. I'm Senate President. I'm not allowing you. Year after year. You know, well, I'm going to ask you next year. I'm going to ask you next year. It's like a stalemate between them. If Joe Vitelli and Nick Scutari broke their one-on-one stalemate about, because only Joe Vitelli can ask for it to be posted. So it's one-on-one here. And they're both representing whatever they're representing. Joe Vitelli's representing patients. We don't know who Nick Scutari is representing. That's the image I wanted to slowly build. So Vitelli was mentioned on 2. The other one was, I forget. I mean, I spent time making these signs, but I really forget exactly. And the wording is very important because one of them was backed up on one, though, that I saw somebody actually took a picture of, just something to hold it up, that I real quick wanted to put something on. So I said, you can't afford it, you can't grow it, then you die. Just sounded like a saying that wasn't a saying. You can't afford it, you can't grow it, then you die.
Well, that's politicians' mindset for you, is the fact that if you're not a tax-paying citizen, then you can't be worth anything to them. So that's their mindset. Yeah. Obviously, how it comes off to. The fact is that if you can't afford to go and pay the taxes to medicate yourself daily, well, tough luck. You should have been a tax-paying citizen. It's literally how they're painting this picture to be. Because why isn't home grow available? Why aren't home grow rights available for medical patients or even recreational patients? Yeah, well, because they want people to spend their tax money so they can literally keep living in their.
You know what? I think you're overthinking this. I don't think it's that big of a thought.
Well,
I think it's just somebody greased somebody's palm and said, "Don't do this because it's going to impact
to make
us."
profit.
I'm changing the scope of this, not this discussion here. But what I'm doing with what I'm doing is changing the discussion to one thing. This hearing is being blocked. Information is being blocked. It's all stopping right there. Everything focused on information. Scutari is afraid of, what did I say? Afraid of this information. Oh, I got the right words. I shouldn't have got this high if I was going to try to be articulate. It's that he's threatened by it. I'm putting down.
Where does he live again? Where does he
meant
live?
him. Scutari is threatened by medical cannabis home grow information. I'm saying he's threatened by the information. He could stop the bill from being voted on as Senate president, but he chooses not to stop a vote. Oh, that would sound undemocratic, But what he does do is he stops a bill from being heard, and that doesn't sound so bad, does it? Make 2 accusations. He's stopping a bill from being heard. He's stopping a vote on a bill. What, one man stopping a vote? Yes, got out of committees, and he's not allowing it to have a vote. That's the bastard, right? The guy that's stopping an informational hearing. It's an informational hearing. It takes information away from people, senators who need that information, while he's saying, well, there's no will to get this passed. That's why there's no will to get it passed created by him not having had a hearing. It's a big circle jerk, So it's all about the hearing. I don't want to get co-sponsors. Yeah. Hey, would you co-sponsor a bill that's not going to get a hearing? To hell, they know it's not going to get a hearing. It's hands tied by one man, and one man that is sticking up is Joe Vitelli. So if he's the one that's even in Scutari's distant rearview mirror, is the one he's doing this pissing on his territory thing before it's anywhere near being reelected to Senate president. Yeah, I want Vitelli's name and Scutari's name as often as I can get it to make the same point I could make a lot of other ways, and don't think that wouldn't be lost on if it ever gets to Scutari, but I got a couple of.
So why can't we do this? Why can't we set up a meeting with him?
He doesn't want to hear us.
Huh?
He won't meet up with patients.
Okay, first of all, the way I would know that is Ken Walski, the most innocent face of somebody that you would think is ever going to be forceful about anything to do political, who doesn't want to piss off Scutari. Everything he doesn't. And I can't get into that why, but what I'm trying to say is Nick Scutari hasn't answered a CMMNJ outreach attempt in 3 freaking years. 3 years. Okay. What the hell? How many years is it going to take? Holy crap. So here's what he'll do, though. He'll pick somebody that's trying to get a hold. He'll say okay to somebody who's kind of got some energy and reaching out and sending off the letters and shit, and then go, okay, I'll talk to this person. And it's not like it's going to talk to the person he's most qualified to bulldoze. He will have that conversation. If he ever does, it's going to be at who he wants. And it won't be somebody like from any long-standing organization who would know better. You know, and I'm not talking in terms of anybody personally, because I don't know anybody that would even come close to getting that done. But my point is somebody that would go, oh, okay, to anything he has to say without coming back to the right point where the conversation needs to be had. He needs to have a conversation with me.
I'll take side bets right now that he'll probably take a conversation with the pharmaceutical representative first over.
Okay.
I'll put money on it, thousands of dollars.
Yeah, see that's not it. You know, it's sort of like you can't bring in a ringer for somebody for something having nothing to do. It's sort of like, okay, you get to choose who you want to talk to. That's not part of the deal.
And that's
Sorry.
No.
He
doesn't get
Same
to,
reason.
he
Same reason
doesn't
why
get
he's
to choose who he talks to.
He doesn't
We
get to
asked him
choose.
to talk with one of us.
Not one of us.
He's
You.
gonna say no.
Okay.
He's not
You
going
want
to
to be
answer.
you?
No.
You want
just
to be
not
No,
you?
it can be more than one person, but
Okay.
the less the better, because it's the same thing.
Why
Spend
don't you
more.
guys go over it?
Who's the bad cop? Spend less time talking to the bad cop. Talk to the good cop. Hope the good cop doesn't let the bad cop talk. And 15 minutes will breeze by. But there has to be point by point. Stay on. It's an all or nothing deal after that. It's going to happen one time. It has to be. So for me, he knows how long 15 minutes is, but 15 minutes doesn't sound like a long time for people thinking there's going to be back and forth. 15 minutes is pretty quick.
Yeah,
He knows
15
that.
minutes is
He's,
good.
but
I
then
mean, people
he's
can
going to
what they
say,
need to
he'll
in
say
3
no.
minutes.
Why didn't he get back in touch with Ken?
Because they're making money on
Well,
profit.
did Ken reach out to him to say, "Hey, you have an
No,
answer?"
no, yeah, okay. Without revealing board of director business, yeah, somebody on the board made that happen to the point of embarrassment at a monthly meeting.
Wait a minute, say that again. I missed.
Meaning, I asked him during a monthly meeting.
Asked
When was
who?
Ken? When was a public meeting, not a board of directors meeting? Public meeting. When's the last time we did this?
Mhm.
And it wasn't. It was a while ago. That's not a date. I need to guess in months. Well, it's quite a while ago. About when? Would it have been what? Almost a year? Well, it could have been. Well, that sounded bad. How many has he not answered? There's no good answer. You shouldn't have the conversation then, because what are you going to say? Well, we ask him once a year. Oh, what the fuck? Here, and I said that one on purpose. The F-bomb.
So
I'm just saying that the coalition has reached out, not week to week. Oh, that'd be pissing them off. Month to month, I don't know. I'm an outlier.
You gotta chase him. You gotta
Has
chase
anyone ever
him
thought about
down.
going to the governor?
Who him? Scutari or Ken?
Scutari.
Okay,
Has
yeah,
anyone ever
I
thought
know
about
that.
going
What
to
I'm
his boss,
saying
the
is,
governor?
what we have is I'm
So
already.
instead of Ken, why not you?
What I'm trying to say is, I need to be able to say with all the surety that there's been a 501c3 reaching out to him for more than 2 years and has not had a reply. That's true.
Okay.
It's the coalition and Ken Walski. Oh, that's true. The numbers don't matter. It's true. I have to actually, in my mind, before I say anything at all, can be going before the board at coalition to find out what to say, because I have to say, if somebody asks me, Jim, what's the coalition feel about this? I need a response. So what I'm saying is, or I don't need that with Sativa Cross. I'll say what I want and you'll understand how it goes within my own organization, CMMMJ. I feel an obligation to not say anything, because
So don't say anything.
they as a group do not endorse what we're doing with retard.
Okay. So don't say anything. So then do it through Sativa Cross.
Yeah, but I also offered to make a disclaimer. You
What kind
know,
of
that this
disclaimer?
is not a CMMJ sponsored thing at all. But if I
Okay.
make a verbal disclaimer, that's not in the pictures. I also asked, I don't know if I got an answer yet because I haven't checked my mail, if what I might say about, I put up a sign that says CMMJ does not endorse this event or whatever, you know, a disclaimer. But I'm doing it with Sativa Cross or as me. Sativa Cross is allowing me to do this as Jim Miller. What's it matter to anybody else? You know?
Mhm.
So it's very useful, though. CMMJ serves a very valuable purpose as being a 2 decades long 501c3 against an issue that nobody knew was even an issue 2 decades ago, strictly originally for medical marijuana so long ago. It's like it's the one that doesn't seem rabble rousing,
All right, so let's get back to the issue at hand.
which
So
is
the issue is that okay, so then he needs to be seen, he needs to open his doors to other people that want to know. Okay,
cool.
you don't have to be CMMJ. Doesn't have to be them
No, of course
because they've
not.
been doing it and they're not getting anything. So
Yeah, but okay, well, that's the value is they've been turned down or ignored. That's why I like
so
to get
what's so
email.
valuable about that? But
What's
getting
so
ignored.
The fact that
valuable is
nobody wants to listen to anyone. He's not trying to hear anyone. They've been trying for years and to no avail. That's the issue
Okay,
he's trying to bring
that's
up. Like
one.
if they can't
Okay,
try and get it going, like somebody else
wait a
doing the
minute.
same
Wait a
exact
minute.
thing that they're doing is not going to.
That's one group.
what
You
was
have
it?
to have
What was it?
more than that.
Rephrase the
Right, but I'm
question.
sure that's not
I
the
missed.
only group trying. You know what
I
I mean? There's
miss. I
multiple
miss.
groups trying. A lot of people have been trying to
I'm
switch
not
this cannabis.
saying that they're not trying. What I'm
Well,
saying is it
question.
needs to be more than one party
What?
doing
Okay.
it.
What needs to be more? Rephrase. Start from the beginning.
Okay.
What
Okay.
needs
What
to be
about
more than one group? What are we talking
what do
about?
we do as activists? Okay. What we do is we invite other people to activate, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And we become their friends, and then we tell them, we're on the same thought process, right? About this, about
Parallel, usually at best.
yeah, about home grow, whatever. So there has to be more than just one coalition going and wanting to know for all these
Well, yeah,
years.
by definition, a coalition is more than one.
You know what I'm talking about, so
No,
stop.
I do, but I'm
Right.
just saying
Thank
that
you.
but we all don't work together. People don't like Ratari. Who's another
Oh, fuck those
coalition?
people that don't like Gratari. Do you know what? How about they have nothing to do with
Yeah,
it?
pick
How
pick
about
one. Okay, who do we look for first? Never mind CMM and J. What other people do? Who would go along with? Let's help you with the Ratari principle because it's pretty cool. It does get attention, and it's actually pretty benign with the right signs that all have to do with him, with none of it being finger poking at Scutari, none of it being bad. I was very careful to take all that out of my signs, but there are people that still don't like that. There are people like Scott Rutter and Bill Caruso who don't like it. And a lot of people certainly like them. You know, it's pervasive, and I get it because it's the most finger pointing thing anybody's ever done to Scutari, Ratari. But God damn it, this is Jersey. We call a rat a rat. Started with Jimmy Cagney. It wasn't from New Jersey, or was he? You dirty rat. It's exactly what it is. I mean, if people were more literate, I'd go with etu Scutari, but they wouldn't understand what the hell that means, but they understand what Ratari means, you know? But for some reason, I've been surprised because every time I look at it, I walked away all day and looked at it and said, this is exactly what we need. I mean, I don't know what people are picturing in their minds. It could be the AI stuff that Lefty puts up. His stuff, Lefty, your stuff looks so mean. I mean, I like it, but it looks like super anti-hero Ratarian.
yeah,
Lefty with muscles riding around a scooter, you know, and
Lefty? You're good. I like it.
yeah,
I
right.
like it. Yeah,
You know,
it's good. It's good. It's fun, and
but
that's what.
that's what
And
people. It's fun
there's
for
got to
us
be
to
a
hear.
fun
It's
side.
fun for
It's
them.
not fun for Scutari. That's what people. It's not fun for Scutari. But what we do isn't that. We don't have that. We got Ratari. He's fluffy looking. He's funny looking. He was waving his signs in the wind at people. I mean, it looked like he was alive from down the block. It was pretty awesome. But who can we say, let's get there? This is a good live example then. The last fourth Thursday podcast is going to be in October. So who can we get out there to take part? In other words, we want to coalesce with people. We want to form more people rather than just one. If we can't get another group of people or an entity of some sort other than an individual to come out and support what we're doing, it's sort of like going to be more of, well, we don't really want to do this. We don't really want to do that. I like the idea of doing it the way we're doing it, and see if he talks to somebody about it even, or if he decides I need to at least mention this. But no, what happens is he'll turn it around to something a little more that has to do with home grow in general. He won't say the phrase medical home grow or patient home grow. He doesn't. You know, he said it one time on with Brianna Van Nosy on Spotlight, New Jersey. She actually had to ask a question, or she had questions. Well, somebody asked, you know, and posed it about home grow. And he says, well, I can see it someday for medical, but only the sickest or, well, the most hurt. Well, he started to trying to qualify it, and then he pivoted as quick as he could to recreational in the program. I mean, he just did a blatant pivot. But if he would have been held there, it would have been good. The simplicity that people do get is, why hasn't he said why he's blocking it? Why?
Because it's probably lobbied by
the question is, what is he saving New Jersey from having happened all this time? What happened somewhere else that he saved us from? There's other states been doing it forever, it seems like now. Point to something going on somewhere that isn't going on here that we can go, well, now we have a benefit risk thing. You know, in other words, if something's going to cause good, but cause more harm than good, is it really good? That's we operate on that. But we don't get to operate on that because the information's being withheld from a freaking bill for 3.5 years that would, if it got a hearing, surely get support. It's singular. And for why he's doing it, I don't know. I got a lot of stuff that Paco would jump right on a train with, having to do with money and how much money you can get into the treasury, and that gives you more power. And when he wants to be Senate President, Governor 8-9 years from now, he's a man with a plan. People are intimidated, senators and legislators, and it's having to do with him. And he's proven what I think about that to be true by coming out early saying, I got the votes already. It's a power man. It's a power play. He's a man with a plan. People know it. It isn't important enough to marginal supporters in the legislature. They're not going to get him pissed off. I get the feeling, it's like you see at the top of the ticket in the Republican Party, without talking politics. If you're a Republican on the national stage, there's one man you don't want to even make think that you did something that might be anywhere near what he didn't want. Now, it's not like that with Scutari, but it's the same damn theory. Something's going on. And it goes as far as Bill Caruso and Scott Rutter, where this is like a bridge too far, Rattari. And I keep saying that I got more faith in Scutari than anybody else, because I don't think he'd piss back on us unless it helped him out. You know what I mean to say? I think he's got hands tied behind his back in a way that if he gets pushed to this, just the edge like here, and then hopefully if I'm half as smart as I think I am, he's going to see the Vitelli Scutari, we're just trying to push them, get them out of their crowd into the same room together. I'd love to hear that discussion, but not with Joe Vitelli, because he wouldn't be free to have an open discussion because of all the stuff we don't know. The more that we realize we don't know all sorts of shit that's pushing their buttons a lot harder than we're able to. But anytime something doesn't add up, that's the reason why. There's shit going on, And people think they know what the shit is. Even they don't know half of it. it's beyond the norm for anything as benign as a hearing, though, a freaking informational hearing. If he wants to hold on to the rope, is to see what we can drag him through. It's going to add up at one point. I have another idea along those lines. I think I texted it to Lefty, but said I wanted to talk to him first about it because I think I had a really benign, good idea. But, oh boy, you all look like you want to hear a benign, good idea.
Yeah, we do.
Well, okay. But bear with me as quick as I can make it. It has to do with what's the least amount of time, no effort, no money that somebody could do to help make this happen. And I got it figured to be 12 seconds per day. It could be 15. If you want to go hog wild, it could go a whole half a minute a day. It's going over to the phone. Yeah, hi, this is Senator Scutari's office. Scutari. Is this the Senate President Scutari's office? Well, yes, who's calling? And then something real quick, I think Sativa Cross podcast is right. I really do. I think this bill, blah, blah, blah. And I already wrote something up, but it takes like 15 seconds to say. You don't need a reply. It could end with, so, do you understand what I'm telling you? Well, yes, I know. If you want to have a discussion now, I certainly would like that, but you might not want to, okay. Short. In other words, not disruptive.
You just want
But no, I want as many as, not if everybody, not if thousands. Okay, I'll even make it a lower number, like 50 people a day. Simply made the quick call. Yeah, it's me again. Yeah, I'm going to have to call you every day. A friend of mine, best friend, has pain and he can't afford his medicine and I can't afford to help him and you won't allow him to grow it. So any day he has pain when he doesn't have medicine, I'll be giving you a call saying that I do believe that this bill should be heard. There. Thank you. Boom. Ring. Hello, Senator Scutari's office. Hi, I've been calling you. Oh my God, another one. It would be 20 seconds. It's not a crank call. It's a legitimate call. And I maintain the reason that one should or could or really should do it is because he's wasted how much quality time, not time, but quality, reduce the quality of people's time at the end of their lives who cannabis is very good for. And then when it gets to be pain and they can't afford it. Now, I'm not saying there's thousands of people. Suppose there's only 50, 50 people. If there were that, didn't get what they wanted, suffered unnecessarily, and it was, basically because this process has been slowed down by 3.5 years from whatever its outcome is going to be. This 3.5 years is costing over 3.5 years. There's been, so anyway, if it wastes some of his staff's time to receive calls that none last longer than a minute, I don't think anybody's going to feel sorry for somebody that have to field several dozen calls every day. And you know what? Just put it on the answering machine. It counts. But how do you get people to do that if not have a Facebook page where they would then have to joyfully log in? Yep, called today. Me too. Called today. To where a list would develop of.
All right, that is a very benign idea you have. That's very benign.
But think about it. Now people start bitching about home grow for patients. It's like, have you made the call? Oh. Yeah, no, I haven't done that. Oh, who wants to be that person that says, I understand what you're doing. This is pretty cool. And it could gather steam. Oh, no, I haven't done it. You don't want to say that. So either one or two.
I think Tricom Analytical at njhomegrow.com has the senator's phone number and email available on the website to make those phone calls and automatic emails as well.
It's on what, Paco?
njhomegrow.com.
Yeah,
the website that Tricom Analytical started.
Yeah.
They started doing that months ago when they first started the website, like 4 or 5 months ago.
You can send it out once and it can be ignored once.
No, you
The
can
fu-
call every day. Like, you just literally hit select, and you can send the email automatically, and as well as phone call right from your phone from the website. They've been doing that for like 4 or 5 months now on the website.
It doesn't disrupt.
mjhomegrow.com.
It doesn't disrupt enough of their office time for me.
Okay, so how about
And by
how
the way,
about-
they can coexist. It's not. I'm sorry, but yeah, I wanted to end that. It's not either or. It's not. Well, we could do this or we could do this. Paco, I think we can do both. See?
Okay, so if you could do that, and then how about if myself or one of my cohorts could call his office and say, "Hi, I am so and so from the Cannabis Nurses Network. I'd like to set up an appointment to speak with
Yes.
Nick Scutari." Okay, how's that?
I
can
think,
do that.
No, I think that is really good because that would be his safest bet, as long as that person understood that he'd be doing that because he thinks he might be able to have the conversation to the end of the time limit and get out, as long as it was understood which are the points that he will not be talking about and to center it around them. I mean, yeah, if I thought, and I think there's an abundance of people in the Cannabis Nurses Association that could do exactly that, is what I'm saying.
Cannabis
I
Nurses
would trust.
Network. We are not an association. We're a network.
Well, I call it the Drug Enforcement Association sometimes too, even though the DEA is an administration. I'm like that.
We're a network.
Yeah.
Unrelated to ACNA, unrelated
Yeah.
to all those other,
Yeah.
rogue little.
Yeah.
What do you call it? I'll make the call. I'll make the call tomorrow. I'll make the call and I'll tell him I want an appointment. I'll get Kenny on Zoom and bring him with me that way because he's not going to fly over here to go. And Kenny the lawyer.
Yeah.
And we'll go.
And we'll go and you'll get an answer to certain questions, or at least make him.
Yeah, we'll make up a list of questions, and
I need to be part of that.
Of course you do. Of course you do. I would never leave you up.
That, and even with the of courses, I will be the one that always says it. The one who gave me the biggest of course was Senator Vitelli himself on the meeting where
I think I mentioned one time he's related to my kids.
Yeah.
Okay. My kids have my last name, but they are Vitelli's.
But what I wanted to say was that I laughed when I knew it was coming because I said, well, but Senator, I need to hear you say it that you have recently asked him to post this. I have. I really have. In other words, like, hey, I need to be able to say that though. But sometimes
you can say whatever you want. I'm going to call tomorrow and make an appointment. All right. If we get one, we get one. If we don't, we don't. But at least we can try. I can be very annoying.
Yeah. Well, okay. I like the if we do and if we don't part. It takes as long to say each that sound like equal footing. Whoa,
if we do, we do. If we don't, then we can sit outside his office. Just say I'm with.
Well,
I'm sorry. I thought I had an appointment with him.
Yeah, basically, then you would be talking about working up an email.
Please leave a message after the tone.
Who's that?
I think it's Senator Scutari's office. My guess.
Who's calling?
Well,
let me try again. Let me try again here.
Can
you hear this?
Yeah, make an appointment. Tell him, say the Cannabis Nurses Network would like to make an appointment with. You could do that. Or I'll call.
You want to do it with an email with why you want to talk.
To back it up, yeah.
Hi, this is
back it
Edward
up.
Grimes. I'd like to make an appointment with Senator Scutari to speak with him. Can you please get back to me? I wanted to speak to him about home grow for medical patients, disabled vets, cancer patients, people with that. A lot of us can't afford our medicine, and we need help. And home grow would definitely help that. So can you please call me back, make an appointment with you and maybe another patient? My number is 908-616-0700. 0682. And please give me a call anytime because this is a very important
Wait
issue.
for it.
People are suffering and dying. And they said that we were, going to get this years ago, and we never got it. And a lot of patients have passed on since then, and we're still waiting. Why are we still waiting? We want to know why we're still waiting, and what other states are doing right that we're not doing. What are other states doing that we should be doing that we're not doing?
That's
I'm
it.
just,
You're gonna get cut off
a lot of
again.
people I talk to wonder why we don't have home grow. A lot of people think
You're gonna get cut off again, Lefty.
I got cut off.
Sure.
Last time we did this
That's
3
okay.
months ago. Say
A lot of
goodbye.
patients think we do have home grow.
You're giving a lot of reasons why they're
I get
not
my 2
going
They're
minutes
not
here.
going to answer you. They're not going to answer you. I'm going to make the
Okay.
call.
By the way,
I'm
Sue,
making the call.
this is
Lefty, last time you called 3 months ago, you
I
got
wanna
disconnected because the
explain that.
voicemail did not get recorded. If you don't remember, we did this on the live 3 months ago. You called and you said Senator Scutari and did the same exact thing, and you got cut off with the voicemail, and you had to leave 3 voicemails because it kept getting cut off every single one. Remember that?
Yeah, you can't talk that long.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's 1 minute, dude. 1 minute, and then keep it moving so they can
Yeah.
call you back. If not, it'll just the answering machine just shuts off and says, "Sorry, not recorded." I remember that happened 3 months ago
Okay.
on the
You
on the-
can't say everything you need
All right,
to
maybe
say
you guys
within
call.
3 minutes.
Hmm.
People don't listen
Maybe.
anymore.
Okay.
It's
I
a
want to
study.
explain it one time.
Mhm.
I got it.
Go ahead, Jim.
I'm not gonna. Otherwise, I'm not gonna. That's
You
what the
got this.
conductor does at the end.
Finish it up. Yep.
No, that's the end. This is.
That's it.
No,
Oh, I didn't understand.
that's it. Yeah, man. Because if not, like I said, those voicemails after
That's
like
saying end it.
after 90 seconds, those
And
voicemails
this is
stop
why I
recording.
don't want that when I'm talking about people calling. I want them to leave a lightning quick 15, 20-second message because it'll
Oh,
everybody
okay.
say
Don't
what they
do it like
If
want.
I
I
did.
worked, if I worked
50
in that office, I would have hung up and said, "I don't want to listen to that."
But Paco, think about
Me
it.
personally,
50
if you're working in an
people,
office,
50 people saying something 20 seconds or less, whatever they feel like, that offers that message would be a whole long thing that wouldn't get cut off, but only in
Right.
20 seconds at a time. So I'm agreeing. I mean, you know what I'm talking about is that
technology.
it's by the time you're ready to hang up on somebody, they're already in effect hanging up on you. How quick can you say it? If
You gotta
I
gotta
would
talk
say to
fast.
people, make it 15 seconds and write it down, read it, time it.
Yeah, you got to
You
make
get
it
on the
quick.
phone when it's time, read it, say thank you, and hang up. In other words, it'll be and whatever you like. Plus, tell me, couldn't we write a book on 15-second blurbs that would be appropriate? Where people could go, oh, look, here, I'm going to steal this blurb from their website. I like to say this one. I mean, you could create 100 different things could be said, and people that didn't want to be creative themselves would pick one. And then some would be said a lot, some would be said. It would just be fun. The phone would ring. When Cheryl's memorial in Washington included a phone slam when we had a congressional press conference and that Barney Frank led, and then we maybe 125 people went lobbying, and I forget why I'm telling you this. Boy, it was damn well appropriate too.
Are you calling back or what?
All right,
the phone slam. Yeah.
Listen,
Student for. Okay, let me write it down. Then.
It's 20 minutes to 6. There's no sense in making any phone calls now.
SSDP.
Tomorrow morning.
Their voicemails. We'll be listening to them tomorrow morning, and the assistants will definitely listen.
Yeah, but you know what you do when you listen to voicemails? Beep, beep, beep. You delete them.
But you also count them. So if they want to know it, they got to listen.
Topic.
They got to listen to enough to know.
Has reached its
But if they
maximum
say, I hung up on 35 calls about home grow,
delete current message,
okay,
send a new one.
they know it was a
Good
call. Okay. SSDP, Students for Sensible Drug Policy. Call the phone slam. They had an hour between 12 and 1 o'clock when they would gather in groups at different colleges and call specific congressmen about why we were there, lobbying, so that I had the pleasure of being in 2 different congressional offices when the phone was ringing, and it'd be, I'm sorry, excuse me for a second, and they take the call, and you could tell it would be one of the students. I mean, there's other calls coming too, but the idea that it was fun to be there and recognize a call, and she goes, I'm sorry, and you're here because of, oh, was that a college, somebody from a college student talking about medical marijuana, asking you something? And they look surprised, because if it wasn't, no harm, no foul. But when I heard it, the look of, well, like I don't talk about phone call, didn't want to talk about it, but it obviously was. It was like really good. It got somebody on their heels, but it also shows just basic organization. I love the idea of the short and sweet one, because it takes away wasting all of my time. No, wasting 20 seconds of your time for the days of time that are being wasted for people that are in pain. And it's a hearing. It's not about that. It's about the hearing. It's all about the hearing. It's a blockade. It's the only thing that matters. It's the Panama Canal is what it is. And he's got it closed off. And we can't get all the way around South America. He's got the canal closed off.
I can guarantee you the same reason why he snuck in when he legalized recreational cannabis. He snuck in psilocybin as well for medical use is the same exact reason why he did that. And not allowing home grow.
Yeah.
For profit.
Okay, well, there's an amazing coincidence that the psilocybin, the psilocybin bill that was set to be voted on, that I went for the joint committee vote, health committee vote. The first thing that says, well, okay, but home grow has been, not home grow has been taken out. They kept referring to home grow. The legislators, it was taken out the same way it was taken out in 2009. It got to the hearing, and suddenly it was out. They had the hearing, said we want to vote on it later. Then they came back and they said we can vote on it, but we want that voted out. And it stunk of 2009. And I think that was part of it. It was like they put that in to get it and got it discussed. And then when people balked at it, they said, okay, if the home grows too much, we'll take that out. Okay, I could vote for that. It went that sort of way. It was like asking $5,000 for a car you only wanted $3,500.
You know that for sure?
No, I don't know that, but
okay.
it's the only thing that makes sense. I mean, isn't that what we would do if we were? No, I don't even want to say Scutari. It could be anyone, him and or other people. But yeah, it kind of got the cannabis law passed in 2009, and that's not lost on people. It's like the first discussion, it doesn't really matter, but they could stop it from being voted on by taking it out, so it never got a vote. I mean, and again, no harm, no foul. They could take it out even if it wasn't going to get a vote, or if they thought it would get voted down, they could leave it in. But they know. I don't think they go to a vote without knowing exactly what's going to happen. They might find out just before the vote, but I'm pretty sure that somebody, I'm sorry, the one time that did happen was Bill Baroni in the original Senate bill, because he started his part saying, I'm sorry, I want to apologize to my colleagues, my Republican colleagues, that I have to break ranks on this one. It's almost exactly what he said. And it was because of what Chuck Kwiatkowski wrote. And he says, but when a man can't give his daughter a piggyback ride because it hurts him, and there's something that could be done, and there's something, I just have to go along, And then he put down his head and cried. Bill Baroni,
Yeah.
So he did that.
That's it.
And actually, and I wrote that letter. I mean, Chuck's letter, he came over to my house, and we smoked it up, and he took something the DPA wrote for him, Dirk Police to write down at the press conference he was going to say, And when he did, and when we tore that fucker up, man. And let's see if I can remember. Just like the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right, listen, I got to go. Okay.
All
So do I have your confidence to make a call tomorrow?
It depends who you're going to talk to and what you're going to say. What
How about Jim? Jim, how about you do this? Write down what you want me to say. Send it to me. Text it to me.
Okay, and who are you going to call?
Scutari.
I want to make sure. Again, explain why I have everything reiterated, so I'm 100% clear.
I'm going to call to set up a face-to-face with Scutari. Okay. With the Cannabis Nurses Network, and to please explain to the nurses of Jersey why our patients cannot grow from home, because it's a problem.
Say that again. I want to make.
Why our patients, the nurses of New Jersey that are members of this network, want to know why our patients cannot grow from home like they can everywhere else, because this is creating a big problem.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
How's it the problem for nurses because they can't help or recommend? In other words, yes, that's a great way to.
Yes, because we cannot help them, and we cannot recommend anything to them other than going to purchase the products ourselves, which is.
Yeah.
You know,
well, all that you wouldn't say, but what you just said is exactly what you should say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll include, but when I write this up, and I'll email it to you later.
Okay.
Okay. But when you get that, it'll be like I'll do a vague paraphrasing of what you just said. It's not like the exact words, but I'll make it clear. That this is in quotes. What you really, And then, as always, the shorter the better. I mean.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Good.
Less is more.
Same page.
Okay. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Talk to you later.
Mm-hmm.
How do I get this? Let's see. There we go.
Yeah, Lefty, you don't remember last time you called? That's how we found out his name, because of his voicemail. It says his name, Office of Scutari, and you were like, oh, his name is Scutari, not Scutari? And I've been calling him the wrong name this entire time? I was like, oh! Yeah, that was live a couple months ago, literally like 2-3 months ago.
But I could, when he was doing that, I was picturing like, oh, that's better, because like that rhymes with scary. Scary Scutari. I didn't know that. We were gonna use that one, Scary Scutari, but
that's why I call
him.
Him.
Thank you.
That's why I call him Nick the Dick Scutari, because he's a dick.
He's Scutari. He ain't too hairy, but he sure is scary.
Yeah.
How many words can you get to rhyme? I mean, what I like about now, as opposed to long ago, it's not a thesaurus. You type in like similar words, rhyming words, alliterative words, whatever. How many words rhyme with Scutari? No, scary. So how many words rhymes with Scutari? And it'll come up with 90 to 100% rhyme and 80% rhyme. Like the N might be an M, but it still works. In a running diatribe. Yeah, I mean, I remember George Carlin with a beard back in that. It was just a stupid thing. See, my beard ain't weird. Don't be scared. It's just a beard, And if I can remember it, it was only 4 things too. But yeah, along those lines.
All right, let's call back, man.
I'll write a whole song about Scary Scutari. Does that make him Ratterry? Harry Ratterry?
Harry Ratterry. Yeah, Lefty, let's call back, bro. Like I said, you got to keep it under 90. So keep it under 90 seconds so it doesn't cut you off like last time.
Yeah.
But I think that's what happened last time. It was like 90 seconds or just short of like 75, 90 seconds before that voicemail was like, no, you want to re-record. And you're like, what the hell? I hate technology for that. They don't let you speak on the voicemail. It's like, what? Why can't I leave a 2-minute long voicemail? Why not? Like, come on.
Well, I don't know. It's like they're going to pretty well pass on whatever they want. I'd like to make my ones were always pretty short, And if I'm going to leave a message or if I think it's going to be afterwards, I have it written down. Every time I have it written down.
That's my problem. Every time I call, I don't write it down, so I wing it. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, wait, what did I forget to say? What did I forget to say? And I'm just like, I'm like, gosh, I'm fumbling it up and stuff.
That's why I got to write it down, I mean, if nothing else, just certain words that key in the base I want to touch at that time.
Right.
Little
Or key
thumbnail.
phrases.
Yeah, key phrase at best,
That's what I started doing. Is like when I started calling recently, was like doing that. Like literally having a little template I have written down on my phone, and I just pull it out when I need to, just to like make sure I'm focused on what I need to do at hand on the phone call. Because if not, like I said, because I have ADHD, I'll start talking about something else, and I'll ruin the voice one. Like, damn it, no, I can't send that one.
Even when I make notes and try to say something like at a committee meeting, I'd rather be able to look down for a second and then look up for about 3 times as long and then look down, like when I'm jumping from one base to another, because even doing that at the end, I go, oh, there was something important, and it would be like 3 words and it makes a difference and forget. But that's the beauty of leaving a message, like that's why if I was going to do the short message plan on calling, it'd be like, hey, if you call and it's just left on the machine, here's like 50 you can choose from, man, I'll stay up all night and writing little 15-second things that'd be cool to be said. Kind of like making signs. They all go together. So if they got all these 20-second blurbs, it would tell the whole story. So we did there. You could read all those signs. They had like how many? Well, I can't count. Well, I was counting characters, not words, but they would be 125 characters. They probably got about 1,000 characters out there, and that told a good story with those pictures.
Well, yeah.
Oh my!
These dabs aren't hitting me like they should today. What is going on?
Really?
Yeah. It's a tolerance. I mean, I've been smoking 23 years, longer than most people have been in most professions.
Oh yeah.
So
well,
it's like tolerance.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure in quantity in one's lifetime, you've probably outsmoked me by 5 or 6 times.
No,
I've been
no way.
Yeah. Well, how long have you been smoking?
23 years.
Well, that's 40.
Quarter of how long you've been smoking, right? You've been going on 45, 50, was it, you said?
Oh, no. Since 1970. So let's say 54.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's a quarter of what I've been, almost a quarter half.
But I was, even at best in college, I was probably an ounce a week.
See, right now, like I said, I'm doing a half ounce right now, and like that's literally each joint is 2.5 grams. So you figure on top of it, I put a gram.
No, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen them. No,
that's the problem. It's like in order for me to operate and function, I need to be able to. And that's what keeps me off of opiates. Like for me to not take 8 opiates a day of literally Percocets, I'd rather not and smoke my medication and eat my gummies because like I can still wake up in the morning instead of overdosing in my sleep and my mother or my father finding me literally dead, like because they haven't seen me in a few days and came over like what, you know what I mean? Like that's the problem with those opiates. I've lost over 30 people in my life to opiates, and I swore to never take that stuff, that poison ever again. The fact that my holistic plant medicine is literally frowned upon is wild to me. It's like, why does my quality of life have to be judged by people just because I smoke a lot?
Well, first of all, you do smoke a lot, but I got to make an observation. You're the exact opposite of what you would expect of anybody smoking that much. You're almost always, when you're not dragged down from doing your rounds and shit.
Right.
Yeah, but even then, that's not when you're your most stoned. It's before taking a break, maybe afterwards. When I've never seen you anything less than on a good roll from point to point, from point A to point B. You know what I mean? And you use words that people that would look down on you would be going, fuck, man, what'd that word mean? What? Oh,
you're using that word?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's sort of like, I like to try to do that. It seems very effortless with you, and I don't mean like Lefty knows I like to go, I always like to use one new word a day, but usually it's a stupid word. But it's, No, the reason I don't think people would believe that didn't know you would not believe that what you're saying about how much you smoke is true.
Right. They'd be like, really? How are you not sleeping? How are you not eating slushies all day and Cheetos and Fritos? And I'm like, because I'm a medical patient and I use it medicinally. Oh no, the thought of me using it medicinally and still functioning.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude, it's 2024. The fact that people don't understand that people can still function on cannabis and live a normal daily life, quality daily of life by using it is beyond me. It's 2024. You're not going to smoke a little pinner and then just pass out anymore, unfortunately, because my tolerance is a lot higher. I unfortunately cannot afford to take tolerance breaks due to my pain, or else I literally be laying in bed for 28 hours straight.
Well, look, let's just say it wouldn't have been a good movie if it was Bill and Papo's Wild Adventure, you know, because they were the stoners, you know, the whole thing. But you couldn't have been that person. I don't know where you wouldn't even fit in there. You know, you'd be the one sitting on a cloud like, why doesn't he get high? I don't know. In their movie.
Because that's the thing, man. It's like, I get it, you know, like I get the, you know, the stereotype behind the stoner myth, and like people need to sleep. So it's not like I can literally run full days around people.
And when
people are like, what? How?
When you said, Lefty and me have kind of the same thing, except, you know, I've always thought, man, they sound similar. And that was a good way to kind of describe. But then again, Lefty is also the person that not at your level specifically, but still well above a lot of other people's level to control all that, you know, and then, I mean, look at any podcast that other people do that you're not on and see how much is going to be smoked. I mean, the man can't even sit through a podcast without running out to the car and getting the podcast on his phone. And now there's two lefties, and now he's back where he doesn't have to. But
that's the thing. People don't
3 times
fail to realize. Literally, people fail to
3
realize
times
that
today.
we can actually function medically fine. Like, I guarantee you right now, if I hate getting into this, but if you were to pull someone over who is high on, medicated on anti-anxiety medication, there's no way for police to know that that's illegal for them to have too much in their system to be driving around at all in any way, shape, or form, besides obviously seeing if a person is impaired, obviously. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and the fact that as a medical patient, people who medically use cannabis are scrutinized for it. This is crazy to me. I get it. You know, you don't want people crashing and, you know, getting hurt and being a liability on the road. Understand.
Well, you know, New Jersey actually included in the bill, unless they took it out and didn't tell anybody, they included that a patient, while on the road, if they need to medicate, they need to pull off the road, take the key out of the ignition, yada, 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 smoke what you need to, you know, titrate it, and then wait till you believe that you feel you're ready to drive. So they left it up to the driver and patient discretion, which other states don't put shit like that into their law. New Jersey really has neither the best or second best consideration for registered patients to consume their medicine. And I find that like they must have arbitrarily made a mistake saying, what do you mean other people don't? Shit, we didn't have to do that. We fucked up. We let them have too much.
To be honest, you want to hear something even crazier? The state of New Jersey is the only one. I'm probably talking out of my ass on this one, but I'm almost positive that it is one of the only states in the country that is unionized.
Really?
Only cannabis industry, one of the only cannabis industry states in the country that is unionized. In Oregon, when I worked in union, no union in Oregon. No union in California. No union in Washington. None of that. That doesn't exist. Only in New Jersey. So with that being said, tell me why it doesn't seem like they're trying to monopolize and corporatize the entire cannabis industry in New Jersey.
Wow. Well,
if that doesn't like coincide
like, you
together
know-
somehow. Like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, that's them proof, like literally showing that for the
Well,
future,
that's
we're
our-
trying to
that's
gear
our-
up for a larger business infrastructure industry type of cannabis. That they have to literally make sure the employees are taken care of. So these corporate ties,
That's our union guys.
That's New Jersey, you know, unions.
Yeah. Well then,
Hey, it's good for the employees because the cannabis industry, like I said, without it, it is.
Well, then we got the right guys on the job. And what I like about UFCWWC,
UFCW,
yeah, they got ashtrays at their union hall. You know, I mean,
like
so they're the ones out organizing, and Hugh was coming to CMMJ meetings, probably for. Oh my God! If we went past that law in 2009, well, 2010, yeah, since probably about 2003. He was there like way in the beginning, and I was always impressed that a union guy would be there and thinking, what the hell? He was like spending time doing that before.
It's just weird that the state of New Jersey would want to be like, yeah, no, you all got to be unionized to work in the industry, and I'm just like, huh? What about small mom and pop businesses? Like, what? They got to sit there and pay out union fees for having union employees? That's even crazier. Like, I can understand a corporate business where they would need that, but a small mom and pop entity, why they would need to have union employees for 4 employees, 3 employees, like. It's not like they're getting swept under the rug and it's needed. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's just like, to me, it just seems like New Jersey knew what they were doing when they were trying to corporatize the industry. Personally, that's how I think.
Yeah. If New Jersey gets something right when it has to do cannabis, it's like a broken clock is right twice a day unless it's military. You know, it doesn't mean the clock's worth a shit or working.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Jim. I'm not even going to lie to you. That's a
right.
way to
But it's true. So it's not a hyperbole of New Jersey never gets anything right. But when they do, it's either because they couldn't make money or they didn't know they could make money off it. It's one of the two.
Right. I think that's what happened for the longest time is New Jersey didn't realize the mega monster of a profitable business that it would have been as far as tax revenue. Understandable, new industry. They didn't know in the beginning stuff. Okay, that's great, but just like don't leave out the small guy either in the process, because like I said, a lot of small mom and pop businesses for the cannabis industry aren't really out there. You know what I mean? It's like I said, corporatized to the point where it's these large businesses with multiple structures to them as far as CEOs, COOs, and all that other stuff for the corporatization,
So Lefty, did I remind you that it was time for a smoke when I said you went 3? So you didn't say so far. You went 3.
4.
Yeah, and now I look up and I'm like, oh,
dab number 4 for me.
Yeah, right.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said anything. No, but it works good, Was it you ought to get a real nice background to put up in your car right now,
Get a green screen.
Yeah.
And just get Bayonne in there.
Yeah, hey, get some real technology in your car. Going to the other studio, the remote studio.
You know what you do, bro? On that bar right behind your head, you just literally put a drape of green screen behind you.
Yeah. Well, at least some of them cool little LED lights in the back of your thing, so it looks like a studio. Some of them. You could put them in the form.
That's a better view, to be honest.
Yeah, the molecular. What do you call it? The molecular. What do you call it? The way they portray like a THC molecule, how they that. Yeah, get the LED lights in the form of that.
That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah,
I'm about to
You
get
have no idea. You have no idea what goes on in this parking lot over here.
I can only imagine.
All right. So what's that business it's next to?
It's a place where they have booths where you go inside and you masturbate.
Oh, it's a nudie, John?
I guess they have live videos in there or live something, and you go in there and they have
What's the name of the
dildos.
place?
Dildos and buttholes all over the place. Adult Variety Center in Avenel.
Oh, you're next to Variety and Center. I know where you are. You're by
I'm
the
saying,
loop.
you know your way around. You would know that place.
You're by the loop. I know where you are. You're by the loop in.
You
Yeah.
know, you actually could probably give directions like that. You know, so when's the grand opening?
15
When's the
years.
grand opening, by the way?
Well, the Tea Party is the 28th, and they own all these properties. They own that,
Yeah.
they own this, and they own a third property. So
what is
it's
the
huge.
Tea Party? Tell me what the Tea Party is.
The Tea Party is a soft opening,
Okay.
and it's going to be DJ, bands,
Right.
vendors.
Okay,
lots of
so
weed
there's going to be
smoking.
there's going to be people there. Oh yeah. So how do you tell those people where it is? You know, you could give them the address and say right next to, what's that again? Because just the way Paco laughed, I'll bet half the people that would go there go, I know where that is.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
not
I
too
go
far
buy
from the
it.
GMC. It's not too far
Yeah.
from the GMC dealership, Maloof, and it's like right by the.
man.
It's right by Sansone on Route 1, Sansone dealership, to the big auto mall on Route 1, right when it becomes Route 1 and 9, where they just like recently merged right there. So,
Well, actually, though, you know, if you're going to be sitting in your vehicle and, you know, patrol cars go through parking lots, it's their job. You're not what they're looking for in that stop in between there and there.
they're looking for the dudes who are doing dumber shit.
Yeah, oh, man. That's funny. Well, that's good.
We have people on the security cams. We've seen people on the security cams whacking off in the parking lot here.
It's crazy.
What's your security cams from that store?
I have video of it. They showed it to me. I'm like, oh, our podcast will fit right in here. We have great material now for this.
I don't want to delve into it deeply, but I don't understand why somebody would leave a building made for that purpose to do that outside the building. That's the purpose.
Thank you.
Chronic masturbators are crazy, dude.
But is that like drinking a beer? Yeah. Yeah, how chronic is that? Like every 15 minutes? And, you know?
It's drinking a beer outside the bar.
It's like cranking hog wild, literally. God dang.
It'd be a traveling carnival exhibit. Somebody like that.
That's crazy, dude. Like you're gonna go to a place for that and then still be in the parking lot crank. Like I can understand. Listen, that's just crazy. I don't even want to get into it. That's just crazy.
No, I'm just saying, don't. You know.
In public is wild. Yo, but why don't they hire security guards to patrol the parking lot and kick those fucking burbs out?
So this is like
That'd be smart. I'll be
they
security
do.
if they want.
They do.
I just want to say once every now and then during this part of the conversation, quick, that since this is happening next to a medical, a dispensary.
It's not medical.
I know it's a dispensary. That since that is happening. I forget what I was going to say. That I got way too high tonight.
It's not a bad thing.
Is that a thing?
No, it's not. No, no, it really isn't. You know. Well, I'll tell you what. Seriously, they're doing 9 or even 10 days where I was like unconnected. I mean, I could email you and talk to you on the phone, but I couldn't get any information. I couldn't find out baseball scores. I couldn't see how good Shohei Ohtani did that day. I mean, I couldn't pay somebody to tell me. I couldn't find. The only way I saw how he did one day is he made history and was on the regular news, and I could see the regular news on TV. Shit. It was so long of a time to be disconnected, living differently, but I like it like that because it took away all my interest in what's going on. And I was totally focused on my immediate surroundings, which was my purpose, being the caregiver and the blood stick in the morning and take a reading and the eye drops at night and make sure everything's, you know, where he needs it, when he needs it. And just generally just be good company too. And in between. And then he got to watch me make signs because I made the signs like where I could keep an eye on him. It's all one, you know. Well, Paco, you've been there. I made signs at the dining room table.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that dining room table was perfect.
Yeah, well,
Nice.
so then, you know,
Perfect.
that's right. I keep forgetting. You can picture what I'm saying. And George is over where he always sits over there.
Chilling on the couch.
You know, and but somehow the forgetfulness where you have the same conversation twice, like I can't get the TV volume to work. Yeah, I know. That's been true all week. Really? Yeah. Oh, you know, but we would have other conversations. He'd bring up something. I'm like, I think we just talked about this like an hour and a half ago. And then I would listen intently, looking for like a cop looking, this is somebody else's story. Okay, let's see if it matches up. And it would match up identically every time. The man can't remember shit sometimes, but when he remembers something, it's like almost word for word all over again. So it was pretty fun, you know. I figured also,
I didn't realize. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying I could probably work out, say, hey, George, I got this thing I was going to say, I wanted to see how it sounds. You know, like an exhortation of some sort, like read about a 30-second thing and see what he thinks. And he would tell me. And then I could say, like an hour later, hey, George, I got this thing I want you to listen to, see how it sounds. And he'd go, oh, okay. And I could give him something else, a different version, and see if he liked it the same or better. No, he liked that one better. Awesome. And then an hour later, I could have tried one thing 30 times, and he'd have been happy, and I'd have been happy. I'm looking for some sort of focus group possibility for people like that. You know, hey, you can work your shit out. But he did. Hey, you know, it could have been way worse. You know, had a bad blood reading one time. Oh, if you get 2 over 150, you got to call the doctor. You know, oh no, not that. And second was under and celebratory. And Rick's back, and I have way more respect for how he handles things there. But it was cool. And I commandeered one of Rick's balms right away. And it wasn't for rubbing. I mean, I rub it on where I need it, but it would be a fingerful 3 or 4 hours later. A little more than that, you know, because I wasn't really doing anything. But honestly, that kept me left foot, right foot, you know. Yeah. Weirdly enough, the man will do dishes if they're in the sink, knowing that's my job. Don't do dishes. You know. Got his cane up there and doing dishes, but he'll forget and he'll do them. So the only way to counteract that is to do them right away. You know, I'm not okay, got water in it, it's in the sink. Oh, no, got to do them right away. So maybe the regularity for 9 days, actually, it's worn off a little bit here. I didn't do what I wanted to do today till noon, only because I was still on George function time.
Right.
You know.
Lefty, you all right, dude? You're spacing out. That blunt got you chilling, dude.
Yeah, and now we know what you're out looking at, and I'm gonna wonder too. You know,
what are you staring at, bro? You know what I was just thinking? I just realized that's gonna be right up the street from Air, no?
It's across the street from Air, yeah.
Give them the competition, see if they can finally bring down their prices. Jesus Christ.
They don't want to collaborate. They're not looking to collaborate. They're looking to go after them. They're looking to we're gonna destroy Air. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever, bro.
Hopefully they'll be the dispensary that changes the prices and starts bringing down prices, because these $60 eighths are just crazy now. If they did anything where the ounces were anywhere near like $150 to $200, yeah, it'd be worth it.
So what's the largest amount? Is it still like a quarter ounce? That's the largest amount. In other words, if you want an ounce, you get 4 quarters. Is that how it works still?
I think so. I haven't shopped in New Jersey in a very long time.
Well, I don't imagine they would change that, because maybe even that would be better for them or whatever. But that's, I think, what keeps the price up too, is the fact that, you know, that if it's $60 for an eighth, it's probably $110 for a half, not $120, right?
I'm assuming.
That's how it was at Curaleaf. Almost exactly that. So then that would mean it would be even less per ounce sold in an ounce. Well, it's to the venue's advantage to have an extra package, but you get $10 more. You know, I mean, because when you sell 2, in effect, that extra packaging and handling cost a lot more than it costs them to pay for the package and handling. So it's good for a bottom line to do that. But then, you know, no, the half an ounce would be more, the ounce would be more. So, and then how much is in a pre-roll?
You usually do grams, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, is that because they got their eighth price? So for that, what would pre-rolls of that be?
They're usually like $30, $35. Most of them.
They're going to make more money off doing the rolling. I mean,
Well, the pre-rolls always, because at the end of the day, the pre-rolls are using trim and shake, and it's not actually nugs that they use to make that. So they actually are upcycling anything from trim bins or anything that's not used as far as packaged goods.
What do pre-rolls cost? What, you get four? You get four? Or
I have no idea. I think they have like 5-packs. They have single ones. Like most of them are different, but they're anywhere between $20 to $50.
I seem to remember, and back in the day, and I could be wrong, but it was somewhere around $35 for four, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. I could be wrong, but I'm not wrong by much. But if it was $35 for four, I don't know how. I mean, I don't know what that would.
$8 and change a piece.
Yeah, I don't know what that would be like in weight though, but I just can't see it being a better deal. Otherwise, you'd buy pre-rolls, cut them up and stick them in a bowl. You know,
it's probably an eighth, is my guess.
Yeah, like you say though, you're going to be getting a shake or something that
right. It's less desired. That's so. Like I used to run a pre-roll department in Oregon, and what I would do is I would do probably close to about 5,000 to 10,000 joints a month, every month. You know what I mean? That was literally my job to do that, and like run each machine. Each run would be 100 joints. So I'd literally do 100 joints, pack them up. 100 joints, pack them up, and that's all we would use is trim. We would literally use whatever was trimmed off of the nugs before that got sold, ground it up, and threw it right back in for upcycling or recycling.
Federal government still gives LV Musica, I think, and two other people, but her I know for sure because we're still in contact. 300 joints, cigarette size rolls in a tin, 300 joints a month, which while that's 10 a day, Irv Rosenfeld, one of the other legal smokers as well, he saved all his seeds and stems from his joints. He would open all his joints up, and then he would save that, and he would consume the other how he consumes it.
I'm sorry.
He did that for a year, and then went to a Patients at a Time conference that I was at, and one of his display things for what he had to say at his panel discussion was, here's what a year's worth of stems looks like from 300 joints a month for 12 months, so like that's 3,600 joints, I guess. It crested over the top of the top you could fit on it, but it was pretty well full. So obviously, wonder what that costs for them to grow. It's all home grow hearings.
Lefty, I thought you were at the other.
What do they do with the expired cannabis?
It's got to be. It's out of metric. It has to be. What is the word that they use? Has to be processed out of metric. So in other words, they have to literally just incinerate it or get rid of it in the garbage. Yeah. Usually it's like a special incinerator that they come and get, and they have to do it on camera as per metric, depending on the state law. But most states usually on camera has to be done.
Okay,
so when they literally fucking like,
where's the exhaust to this incinerator you speak of?
They have special filters on it. You can't. It doesn't work like that.
I mean, doesn't release it somewhere where you could be hiding without
it has a carbon filter. And literally exhaust it out just fine, just like the DEF filters for.
Damn it! They thought of everything.
That's what they did in Oregon. That's how they did it in Oregon. When I worked at the processing facility doing BHO, all the plant matter literally had to be written off on metric and had to be disposed of and damaged on purpose.
So when they can't sell it, it comes time to destroy it. It would still at that point have some use for people that had nothing, as in make it into balm right away, as an example.
Technically, no, because this is why governments got involved with medical and industrial cannabis, is because it needs to be healthy and it needs to be a COA involved. So it would be held as a liability to put out that type of crop from harvest if it is damaged and or bad. So it's a liability, which is why they have to damage it and set it off like that. Well, get rid of it, dispose of. Because you can't sell that as a liability to hundreds of thousands of patients or thousands of patients, wherever it may be distributed to, because it would be a liability. Because that's why government got involved, to make sure there's regulations to make sure people don't get sick from it.
It sucks that makes sense.
I get it.
That's what
why, but it's wild to me that I agree with you that it should be used for patients who need it.
Yeah, but that's why I said.
You know what I mean?
That's why I said what you just said. It's like I got nothing to pick on with that. Everything said. That's a good explanation from their end, and it sounds like everybody's hands actually are tied. They might like it that their hands are tied because it relieves all responsibility. On the other hand, it could be doing some good.
Well, what do you think about it? If you're a multi-million-dollar MSO, would you rather be sued by someone for it or damage it out and not make money? That's how they're looking at it. Is realistically speaking, you don't want these large corporate businesses to get these large lawsuits for health issues for something that's regulated by health department in the state of New Jersey, which is a medical patient health department issue. You know what I mean? Like, it makes a lot of sense, but I agree with you wholeheartedly. As if medication is going to be damaged, why not give it to a patient who can make topicals with it?
Yeah.
Or you understand, if it's not able to be sold because it was contaminated by hair, why isn't that being turned into a medical edible?
Unfortunately, it doesn't run parallel to when I was a cab driver. I was really impressed stopping in at a Dunkin' Donuts at 3:30 a.m. because while I was there getting a coffee, I didn't normally work that late at night, but I had a New York run. I was on my way back, so I'm gonna have a coffee. North Jersey, I came back. Somebody came in, and it was for donuts they'd be throwing away, and it was in a pretty large bag. All the donuts they would throw away because they got all the new donuts coming out. Maybe not all, but it was. Oh, it could have been like 75 easy donuts, and I thought that was nice, that they probably don't have a corporate policy on it, but maybe not against it, and I was buying a donut, like, I guess it wasn't being given away, but it wasn't just made. It was like, I'm eating one that's probably giving away. Somebody come by at 6 o'clock for the rest of them. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I got some things I got to do, like eat. So I got to take over.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
It was a pleasure, guys. You guys
see you next time. See you Thursday. Maybe I'll come to South River. I might come to South River Thursday and do a few laps.
Let me know, and I'll be more than happy to walk with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I like hanging out with you guys.
It might be early.
Oh, yeah.
Before the podcast.
Okay, and now I don't have to drive home now,
You're home, yeah. Get home safe, Jim.
It almost feels like it was a nice, good visit after whatever would be.
Get home safe, everybody.
Yeah, get home safe, Jim. Safe travels.
All right.
Have a good night, Lefty. Get home safe. You're the one that needs to drive safe, bud. Get home safe.
All right.
Right. Thanks. Good night.
Leave it.